Power in every drop, fortified oils for healthier lives, debunking myths and assuring quality. Oils are just not about taste, they are about nutrition and public health. In recent years, fortification has emerged as a powerful tool to fight malnutrition, but along with hope, it has also brought myths, doubts, and debates. This session, Power in Every Drop, Fortified Oils for Healthier Lives, Debunking Myths and Ensuring Quality, will throw light on these critical issues. The moderator for this session is a name known to all in the food oil industry, Dr. Prabodh Halde, Honorary Joint Secretary of the SEA, a passionate food scientist, regulatory expert, and industry leader who has been a tireless advocate for safe and nutritious food practice. May I invite Dr. Halde to the chair. Please give him a big round of applause. To join him, our panelists are Sri Sandeep Astana, President of SEA and CEO of Patanjali Foods Limited, an eminent leader in India's food and agribusiness sector who has consistently worked on strengthening India's edible oil ecosystem. Sri Anshu Malik, may I invite you on stage, CEO and MD of AWL Agribusiness Limited, leading one of the largest edible oil companies in Asia, with a focus on innovation, consumer trust, and nutrition. And finally, Sri Monojit Indra, are you here? Yes, he is the Program Leader Asia at TechnoServe, who brings a development perspective, ensuring that fortification reaches the grassroots and benefits those who need it most. Thank you very much. And now, Dr. Prabodh Halde, the time is 4:45, 4:15. Dr. Halde.
Nothing means more to us than the future of our children.
And in our jobs as millers, we know that the vitamins and minerals we add to the food we produce will help our families and thousands of families like us
to grow up strong, to succeed, and to pursue their dreams.
So we try to make our rice, flour, and oil as nutritious as we can,
to the highest possible quality.
Because we know that doing this will make a big difference to our businesses.
And an even bigger difference to the health of our community.
Right now, many millers want to fortify well, yet the technical and the financial hurdles that stand their way are much too high. This means millions of people still aren't getting the vital nutrients they need. Millers for Nutrition is here to change that. We are a growing community of millers and industry partners spanning the globe, helping millers become the heroes of healthy, more nutritious food. We are up and running in 8 countries, providing top-level training, testing, and technical support. Making good fortification make more sense to the bottom line. This is a win-win for everyone, because better product quality helps business bloom and boosts the health of their customers. Do this well, we reach millions of people. Do this really well, in just 3 years, we'll reach 1 billion.
We are Millers for Business,
Millers untuk komunitas,
Millers for families,
Millers for children,
Millers for Nutrition.
थैंक यू, इट वॉज अ वंडरफुल. प्लीज एक बार जोर से तालियां बजाओ, क्योंकि खाना खाने के बाद शायद हमारे थोड़े से सेशंस से लूज होते, इसलिए हमने फोर्टिफिकेशन का एक सेशन रखा हुआ है, शायद कुछ एनर्जी आ जाए. तो आई रियली वेलकम आवर प्रेसिडेंट साहब, संजू अस्थाना सर, प्रेसिडेंट सॉल्वेंट एक्सट्रैक्शन एसोसिएशन एंड सीईओ पतंजलि फूड. वेलकम सर. एंड ऑल्सो ऑन द माई लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, Anshu Malik Saab, CEO and Vice President of Solvent Extraction, and Shri Manojit Indra from the TechnoServe. Welcome, sir. The topic is about myth, quality aspect of fortification for each drop of the oil. Friends, as you are aware that there are macronutrient and micronutrients. Macronutrient means the protein, fat, carbohydrates, and micro means vitamins and minerals. Also there is a fiber and water. But both nutrients are important, and if we do not consume in right quantity, there will be malnourishment, we called as actually, there will be deficiency. So vitamins and minerals are important in the quantity. आपको मैं एक राज की बात बोलता हूँ, अगर आप those who are born before 1980s, आपके हर स्टोरी में एक लिखा रहता था, एक बूढ़ी औरत थी, और बूढ़ी औरत का जो भी पिक्चर आपके सामने आता था उस टाइम में ऐसी झुकी हुई औरत थी. ऑलवेज बूढ़ी औरत मीन्स हाथ में डंडा लेके झुकी हुई औरत है. एंड दैट वाज अ actually impact of the some kind of deficiency. It could be vitamin D deficiency or it could be a deficiency of any other. So always झुकी हुई औरत is a बूढ़ी औरत. But today when you see at the age of 70, at the age of 75, thanks to the good nutrition and the medical facilities, we don't see that kind of bendness into the male or female. And that's the benefit of the actually nutrients. And nutrients are very important. Oils are the great carrier of the oil-soluble vitamins, which is vitamin A, D, E, K. Government has proposed, which is a voluntary scheme, vitamin A and vitamin D to be added into the refined oil. How much? 25 international unit and 4.5 for vitamin D. Vitamin A 25 and vitamin D 4.5. Having said that, to 43% of the total refined oil has been penetrated 50% with the fortification. Yes, Manojit, closely, 50%. Unfortunately, how much? Total? Okay, great. Some statistics you will only say. So, to me, on the refined oil, total 40 to 50% is there. But yes, there is a room for, because there is a easiest way to penetrate. And why vitamins are important? If you want to have a good skin, you need to have vitamin A. And if you want to bone health, vitamin D is important. Though the sunlight is the cheapest one, but yes, vitamin D is important and oil could be the good carrier. Now we got a fantastic panel and they are the users also, and Techno Survey is from the advocacy group and they have a technical expert. So first my question to Manojit, we have seen the penetration of the vitamins fortification and the premixes are there, but what we have seen, there are no much quality assurance in the premix area, and awareness about the quality of the premixes is not yet penetrated. What we get, we just add into the oil, but what we are getting, how to check that and how to put a control on that. So if you can throw some light, how to do that, and what is your advocacy group is working on that, and how you are linking the users like refiners, the packers, if you can throw some light.
Thanks, Prabodh. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So it's, let me start by saying that India is probably the only country in the world where under voluntary fortification regime, such a wide acceptability of edible oil fortification has happened. So we must congratulate the industry for that. Because it's completely voluntary, but even under a voluntary regime, nowhere in the world such an extent of wide acceptability has happened. We saw some data actually, although their exact data is not available, but even on FSSSI website it is mentioned, close to 70% of our packaged edible oil. The definition of packaged edible oil is up to 15 liter. Close to 70% of that is already fortified. So it's a tremendous achievement which has happened, and it started edible oil fortification from the early 2000s, but by 2016, the standards have been set in. And since then, first actually it was the large established companies, the brands, large brands, they started adopting on a voluntary basis. And once they started adopting, then the middle and the smaller companies also gradually followed suit. So today it has almost become an hygiene that if you have to kind of launch your brand under the packaged oil segment, you have to kind of do that fortification. So it's a big achievement which we have reached there. Now, once we have reached that level, it's not today, the challenge is not that how do we ensure that fortification is adopted by the industry, because a large segment of the industry has already adopted. What is happening today is that when we see that various independent bodies are doing a compliance in terms of the picking up the samples, going and testing it in the laboratories, etc., and it is being found that in many cases, the fortification is kind of inadequate. It is not kind of, we won't say non-compliant, but there are various reasons and all, but it is inadequate kind of happening. So in such inadequate fortification, then whatever actually is the intention, that if you are consuming, say, 25 to 30% of your recommended dietary allowance, through by consuming that much of edible oil on a daily basis, that nutrient which was supposed to reach the consumer is not going to reach. So it will probably reach less than that. And there are many reasons why it is happening, but one of the reasons which Prabodh had mentioned is something to do with the premix quality. And when under the Millers for Nutrition program, we are actually working very closely with the industry, because this is a program which is kind of hand in hand with the millers are at the center of this industry, and we are trying to provide various technical assistance in terms of fortification, improving the compliance, etc., making it easier for the millers. So one of the things which we found out is that the quality of the premix which many of these millers are buying is actually not up to the mark when it comes to meeting that standard of the FSSSI mandated standard of fortified edible oil. And so just to give you some number in terms of like 100 gram of typical premix is mixed with a 5 metric ton of oil. Typically, that's what is kind of followed. Now in this 100 gram of premix, there should be about 125 million international unit of vitamin A and about 22.5 million international unit of vitamin D, which is mostly in India, it's in D2 because it's a plant source. Now, when it is tested, it is found that the levels of vitamin A and the vitamin D, which should be there in the premix, is actually way below that. Now, it is actually obviously the responsibility of also the premix industry to ensure that this premix quality is actually at that level which meets the standard of when it is used, it will ensure that the fortified oil meets the final standard. But we are also working with the premix industry, and we are in partnership with ACA and CII. We are kind of doing several kind of CEO level meeting to find out ways what are the reasons. One of the things which has happened over the last several years is that the cost of this premix, if you see the vitamin A and vitamin D, when you add up the cost, what the international, these are all mostly imported items, and you see what should be the cost of these vis-a-vis what is the cost of premix which is available in the market, sometimes it is available at less than 50%. So that's something which can probably raise a question mark. Is it possible to provide high quality input at such prices? So I'll take a pause here.
Thank you, Manojit. I think you have given 5-6 points in one go, but yes, we required a full-fledged seminar to educate about this. Now coming to one of the users, and I think Asthana Sahab, you are adopted the fortification voluntary from the inception when it is started, and your experience is also, you have also communicated and also participated in very international forums with them. So would like to ask how your experience is and how you see the future of the fortification, voluntary fortification in packed refined oils, and what are some learnings if you want to communicate?
I've seen what TechnoServe does. and both at global level as well as what they're working in India. So I think big they deserve congratulations for the kind of effort what they're making. So both through the Gates Foundation, the amount of funding so which have supported both on the malnutrition and other sort of similar initiatives. But I think TechnoServe was able to put together a very high quality sort of conversation, and the narrative what they built around the entire fortification sort of piece, I think has been really praiseworthy in the way the entire thing has been structured. The problem, I would say, just to add a bit of context to to your question, and I won't take too much time, but just to explain that. There are two sort of sides to fortification. One is that voluntary, which we spoke about the veg oil, and why the industry adopted that, and then I'll go to the regulatory part of which is mandated, by the government mandate. So today, what has happened is that vitamin A and D in edible oil has almost become like a commercial sense. If you do it, so it's become a minimum hygiene condition for any good company which has to do. It has to go out and do that. And typically, as it is been found, in India, I think the process is fraught with its own challenges. So the like quality of premixes and the capacity of the industry to how they blend it, how they mix it, how is it conveyed. The checks what we have in the field level, whether it's really meeting the standards, etc. I think that is one part, which I think the industry has done fairly well. I think it's a question of carrying it forward. But I want to pick up another example, and which is very relevant for our industry also, is the salt fortification. So for example, the iodization of salt, India has done almost 90% salt iodization has happened. But the last 10%, and why it is critical for the government to play and it's a very crucial role for the government to be seized of that, because India has the highest incidence of malnutrition, whether it's anemia in the young mothers or, multiple different deficiencies that we have, is this on the fortification front. So regulations, iodized salt is all that 90%, industry has done it. The last 10% is being produced by the most unorganized sector and also being consumed by perhaps the poorest segment, which has got no capacity to really judge whether they're buying iodized salt or not, and it's at a fraction of a cost. The diseases, the stunting, the anemia in the young mothers, the child, etc., what it causes, huge cost which is there. So, and there are large programs of the government on the, the incentives what they give for food processing, but the problem is that none of the programs carry an incentive structure towards fortification. So if it is very much embedded in the policy, at a fraction of a cost what the government spends, they can easily introduce that as a mandate, as an incentive to the industry to do the fortification. So across the spectrum, you can have a huge change in what the health standards and what they can be brought about. And I think the industry will do what it does. Large companies typically tend to sort of have a sense of responsibility towards doing the right thing. And also it makes commercial justification. And I think that is what we have to sort of have, that balance or an equilibrium, or maybe some bit of, sort of, what should I say, the responsible sort of behavior of the industry. I think India is on that continuum. We will go down that path. But if something were to happen in a full scale 20 years down the line, is it possible to do that in 5 or lesser and do a good job of it? And I think that is what is very critical for the industry to voluntarily sort of go towards that direction and start to build that up. And I think all stakeholders have to come together, including institutions like TechnoServe, etc., which can build up the right narrative and incentive structures for the industry.
Very well said, sir. Actually, thank you. Very well said. The problem is not about the organized sector. The problem is about unorganized sector, and also they cater to the bottom of the pyramid. And that's the learning from the salt also is a very good case study. I never thought that the salt is only 90%. I always believed that it is 100%. But what you are saying is 10% is still a gap. Then what about oil? Because we have a less time, now I come to the Anshu sir. Your company is in the consumer packs and also in the bulk pack. And the company who connects with the consumer, and you are a person who is at the front and you read the consumer, what they like, what they're disliking. Having said that the fortification is good, government is doing some good job and there are some opportunities of improvement, but how you see the consumer perceived value for the fortification, and what are the lacunas which we may improve? And there are some representative, Avinash, I could see from the government of Ministry of Consumer Affairs, they may take these notes given by Asthana Saab and also from Anshu sir. So how the consumer perceive it and what we can do better?
Okay, I remember the first meeting of FSSAI when they had called a few of the industry leaders and they expressed their intention that can we start fortification of edible oil. We felt it's a very good cause to participate, knowing that there are a lot of deficiencies in the country. So we said, okay. And we went, today also it is voluntary, but we have done it across. What we have seen is that in refined oil, it is easier to do fortification and also communicate. But in case of cold press oil, like say kachi ghani mustard oil or groundnut oil, we have found it difficult to do fortification. One is because you had to heat the oil to a temperature, 60 or 70. Then you have to stir it and then mix it. And cold press oil, if that heat, that pungency will go. So we had difficulty there, challenges. Second, consumers feel fortified mustard oil is not tasty. But fortified sunflower oil is no problem. So consumers believe that anything that is taste oil, groundnut, sesame, mustard, coconut, they don't want anything to be added.
So they want pure.
They want natural. They want as pure as possible.
Very important point, sir. Very, very insightful.
But when it comes to sunflower, we add as a value addition that it is locked with vitamin A and D, or it is fortified, or it is enhanced. So sunflower oil communication is easy because in South, the literacy level being high, they understand well. But when it comes to soya bean, UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, here, we have tried to communicate. It is difficult because for them to express fortification. So what we do is we create a aura of many things locked in the oil as seal of lock. And that lock is nothing but vitamin A, D, and other things. So learning, consumers believe that refined oil, no taste change happens, but it is good for health. In mustard oil or groundnut, don't tamper with it. I don't want anything to be added. And I think that is the reason why milk also is not fortified. They wanted, but GCMF protested, saying milk is itself is very 100% food. And fortification has not done well in wheat flour. It has not done well in rice. We also tried, but rice, it has not done well. Although midday meal scheme, they have made it. But commercially, fortified rice or fortified wheat flour is not there. But in oil, it has somehow done well and it has clicked. I think easier to adopt in refined oil, difficult in unrefined oil.
I think very well said, and we don't have time, so I will not now go for the second round because Mehtaji sir already has given me the signal of fortification. So, but Atulji, I will remind you one thing. When you were a president, first term of your presidency, there was a meeting in the FSSAI, and you said this point, what actually Anshu sir is saying. If somebody is going for fortification, let it be a refining, because during refining there is some loss of nutrients, so-called. So that, again, adding back to the vitamins is the sense. But for the kachi ghani and cold, and also for the normal pressed oil, don't force. That was your point, and ACA was also of the same opinion. But refined itself is 160 lakhs metric ton or more than 180.
Our estimate is 7.5 million ton is fortified in India. That is because maximum soybean, sunflower, cottonseed oil, all refined oils are packed and sold. Our estimate says almost 7.5 million ton.
So, I'm coming, sir. I'm coming to that. Because if I open that, then I think we need to continue for next 2 hours. So, I will not open that. Mehtaji has shown that. But there are few 2-3 questions which are very concerned to us, and I request Monojit sir, if you can take up some studies. We have some scientists, Dr. Annapure sir is sitting from ICT. if we can do some kind of studies in the deep frying, what happened to the fortificants, how much 40%, 30%, 60%, 80%, I think these are the questions what Dr. Actually Sir is also asking.
Our study says in vitamin D, 97% is retained.
Oh,
Vitamin D up to 250 degrees centigrade heating also will remain stable. So vitamin D is not a problem, 97%. Because Indian cooking is frying at 180 degrees centigrade. But only 40% vitamin A is retained. There we have a loss. But in vitamin D, there is not much of loss.
so now, before I say thanks to all my panelists, I just wanted to have one word, wisdom word, only one word. So starting from Astana Saab and then we'll come into this. One word of wisdom, sir.
No, I think go for it.
No, go for it. And we have done in bulk pack also. We are ensuring that even supplies to hotel also gets fortified. We are not distinguishing between consumer pack and hotel packs. We are saying everybody must be
Very well.
fortified.
Manojit?
Focusing on nutrition security along with food security.
Because what we have seen, some people are doing some kind of games of giving at the low rate and compromising the quality. That is very important. Thank you for patient hearing. We can take one question if anybody has. Okay, thank you. There is no question. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please give a big round of applause to our wonderful moderator and our great panelists. May I invite all of you here to kindly take a group picture. Thank you. First, the group picture, please. Thank you. And then Dr. Prabodh Halde, the moderator, will kindly give our panelists mementos, please. You hand over, please. Yeah, to all the panelists and Mr. Asthana. Thank you. Mr. Anshu Malik, sir, and Shri Monojit Indraji. And Mr. Asthana ji, you will kindly hand over to our moderator, Dr. Prabodh Halde. Thank you so very much. Big round of applause, everybody. Come on, what a great session. And they finished on time. Thank you. Thank you very much.